Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Cartalicchio, your co-host today. And with me is my co-host, Naomi. Naomi, how are you today?
Dan, I am absolutely fabulous. It's the
I like
beginning of
it.
September and fall is in the air, at least it is here in Minnesota. So I wasn't ready for it, but so now I'm sort of am. Like the sweater weather is here and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know what? Here in New Jersey, it's getting a little bit cooler, especially at night, and it's getting down to that 60-degree mark. I am not yet ready to put my hoodie on, and my wife will tell you that I will shower outside into the end of November, beginning of December, even if it's cold outside. I like I just like doing that.
Well, that is actually really good for your immune system, which is our topic for today.
You know what? Welcome, everybody. Wellness Wednesdays worldwide. We're going to discuss immunity today, right? Because as we were saying earlier, Naomi, students are going back into school and society is beginning to open up. People are going back into the workforce. So, what are some of your thoughts on immunity?
Well, we really need to boost our immunity and actually strengthen it. Some
Yes.
people have an overactive immune system, other people have weak immune systems. So really we have to work within the individual person and sort of hit on the heads of what weakens your immune system, what strengthens your immune system, what can we do? And it's not always, I think so many times people always think it's just supplementation, Dan, but there's
Right.
so many things we can do. And as a biohacker, I'm big about how can we support our bodies. And
Right.
I think this is a hot topic, especially like you said, kids are going back to school and there's
Right.
a lot of fear right now in regards to COVID. And so I think what can we do overall to help our immune system is really key.
It's very important because, when you're in school, everybody's, up against each other, the kids, and they're supposed to be wearing the masks. And, my son's school, they have the clear plastic around them. However, knowing my son and his friends, they're probably, chest bumping each other, probably at this moment right now, and they're spreading germs, which is okay. So, what are some tips that we can give our viewers?
Well, I will love for people to realize that our gut health, and this is a term
Hmm.
that I feel like is like sort of that buzz term that's out there, but it's true. Our gut health is actually so important because I don't think most people realize, Dan, that 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our GI system. So we really need to focus around gut health and how to have better gut health.
And that's very important, everybody, because gut health is where all the research is going right now. And as Naomi so eloquently put it, yes, 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut health. How do we strengthen our gut?
Well, one, it has to do with our food that we are consuming. We really need to look at that from
Right.
everything from nutrition. Are we putting the,
Hmm.
the positive things in our body? Are we
Right.
adding the good things? Or are we fueling our bodies with a lot of processed foods, sugars, things that are damaging our gut lining, which, I think people don't also think about our mouth. Our mouth is the beginning part of our GI system.
Right.
So it's really important to take care of that flossing. I'm big about tongue scraping and oil
Hmm.
pulling. These are different things that can help, your immune system because that's the very beginning part of it. It starts in your mouth. So we need to pay attention to how can we strengthen the gut? What are we using to really aid it versus putting holes into it?
I agree. I agree. And there's that term leaky gut, because when you're eating the wrong foods, if you're eating the processed foods, if you're eating the sugars, the salts, you're eating the excessive saturated fats, the
Hmm.
lining of the gut literally starts to separate like this because it causes an inflammatory state. And that inflammatory state creates the separation. And then from there, can weaken, can dampen your immune system. And that is extremely important. So, one of the aspects that we have is we ask patients to eat fermented foods because there's a lot of probiotics in there.
And look what I brought with stuff today, Dan. Fermented foods, one of my favorite is sauerkraut. And I know so many times people are like, ooh. And I
Right.
tell people, find different ones. Like this one is lemon garlic dill. And it is, if you love dill pickles or love anything like that, you will love this. Another great one, kimchi.
Yes.
So there's so many fun things out there now that people can actually try to eat. I mean, there's fermented carrots.
Right.
And these are things people can do as well. You don't have to buy it. You can make it. It's super easy to make. It's a little time consuming, but it's super easy. Or go to your local farmer markets because there's always someone that's selling some fermented food.
And this is important for all of our listeners. Fermented foods, and they have different strands of probiotics that help out with the leaky gut, that helps heal that gut, and also helps boost that immune system, helps increase it instead of dampening it. Naomi, I love the props today.
I know I have a whole tray over here. And that also reminds me that talking about probiotics,
Yes.
there is great probiotics out there. I use one that actually has a Wellmune in it. And Wellmune is the most studied beta glucan that's on the market, which is amazing. But we also, if we're using a probiotic, we really have to have a prebiotic, Dan. And I don't think people think about that. You can either be taking one or there's prebiotic foods. And the reason why you want a prebiotic is that because it helps feed. It's like the fertilizer for that probiotic to grow and do its job. That's what it feeds off of. So we have to have both in order to make those probiotics work. And you want good and bad guys in your gut. So it's basically it's a balance between the two of them.
Right. And so what are some prebiotics that foods that we can eat?
So a lot of fruits and vegetables are good prebiotics. Fiber. I think the whole thing is we get so caught up on proteins, and that's what everyone's talking about is protein. But I think what we're missing out is fiber. Fiber is, really the king. And I think people need to start to pay attention to how much fiber are you really getting into your diet.
And I think fiber is very important because recent research has indicated that it helps bring down inflammation and it helps boost the immune response, which is also very important. And as a side effect, it also helps delay brain aging, fiber, believe it or not. And having your fruits and vegetables, especially some cruciferous vegetables, are extremely important. Great source of the prebiotics as well as a great source of fiber.
So other things that will weaken our immune system is lack of sleep. And I think so many of us, we fall asleep to our cell phones, which is also linked to high EMFs. We're exposed to the blue light. That also weakens your immune system. Right now, a lot of times more cocktails are being had, especially if you're stressed. A lot of times people turn to alcohol, which, you know what, it's great to have a cocktail every once in a while, but alcohol actually really weakens your immune system. So if you're reaching for that at night, substitute that. Have something else. Have, a bubbly water or something. And if you're so stressed, Dan, that's when you have to work on what is your chronic stress going on in your life and adjusting to that. And a lot of times, meditation is key. I think so many times people think that they just have to sit cross-legged, but it's really just having that mental break during the day to let our bodies relax so we're not always like this.
Right. And you're hitting on so many important points. I'm taking notes here as you're speaking. Sleeping 7 to 8 hours, restful, restorative sleep will help build your immune system. Extremely important. I'm always asking my patients this, because no matter what your health goal is, you want to make sure you're getting restful, restorative sleep, no matter what it is, and the cocktails. And that is so important. That's a very important point. A lot of people were home for a period of time, and drinking alcohol became very commonplace. You can go, I would go out in my backyard, my neighbors, it's noonish somewhere, they would say, and they're having a couple of cocktails because why not, I guess. I'm like, no, no, thank you. No, thank you. Staying away. We said the sugar, the sugary sodas. I found that my son was reaching for the colas, right away. And I wanted to know how those colas got into my house, just like the cereal gets into your house. So, I wanted to know that. And stress, there's so much stress right now. And we've said this last week. There's financial stress because people may or may not be working, right?
Mhm.
There's stress among spouses. All of a sudden we're put together and now we're helping out, homeschooling, which is extremely stressful.
Yeah.
And, you have a teenager, they're supposed to be in, and a teenager, I know that you have teenagers. I have one that's just about to hit their teenage years, and to have them home, and they're supposed to stay in, boy, that's tough. And
Well,
that's very stressful, in combination with homeschooling, right?
well, and loneliness. That is actually weakens our immune system. And I think we
Yes.
know for me, and that human touch is really big. And we're told right now not to be hugging people and all these things. That they say loneliness is like equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes. And we all know that smoking also lowers your immune system.
Yes,
So
it
it's like all
does.
these things that we have going against us. So other things that we need to be doing, Dan, is focusing on exercise, movement, and
Yes.
making sure we're not over exercising, because these people that are fanatics that are overdoing it, that can create higher levels of oxidative stress in our body,
Yes, it does.
and that causes more damage than good. You'll hear people all the time that they're like, they're a marathon runner, and I used to run marathons, and they'll say, so and so, 42 years old, just dropped dead of a heart attack. There's that fine line of doing too much for yourself as well.
Oh, and that is so important. And I think I've mentioned this to you before. I took up running again, during COVID, and of course the competitive nature comes out. Naomi, you want to run the 10 miles, you want to do the 10K. My knees aren't happy to begin with, but you are so correct that exercise creates an inflammatory state in your body. And from there, that's where it causes that oxidative stress, which could be detrimental to your immune system. So there is that balance that you can have. And a lot of athletes today, they're going into the cold tank, they're going into a cold bath,
Yeah.
right? Which helps bring down that inflammatory state. And what you were saying about me earlier in our conversation, where I like to take showers outside. We have an outdoor shower, and I'll go into December. When it comes to that, it's invigorating. I love doing that.
Well, it's so good for you. The cold therapy is key. In the winter, I go outside, and I know my neighbors probably think I'm crazy. I'm out there with tank top and shorts, because we want that. I take a cold shower all the time. I talk about that in my lymphatic group.
Right.
I run a lymphatic group, and the reason being is your lymphatic system is linked to your immune system. It all goes hand in hand. I was going to bring with my dry brush. So dry brushing is a great way to support your lymphatic system. Exercise, rebounders, those mini trampolines that used to be really big back in the 80s. Well, they're now coming back again because
Right.
people realize that movement, bouncing up and down, that's what stimulates your lymphatic system.
So for everybody here today, what we're talking about is our diet. We're looking at our lifestyles, right? And we're looking at our diet, and we're saying, we want to eat fiber, we want to exercise some, we want to, get restful, restorative sleep. We want to stay away from the processed foods, the sugars, the salts, the candies that are, they're just so palatable. They're just so readily available. Like we keep saying, we want to be able to eat appropriately, sleep appropriately, exercise appropriately, so that we have a positive lifestyle, okay? Especially with the cold and flu season is right around the corner. We're coming out of COVID, Naomi, and we're just right here again, right?
Yep. Yep. And that's why I think, there are supplements and activators that I love taking and that I feel like we should have on hand. And there's different things that we should be taking on a regular basis, because a lot of times people are deficient in a
Right.
lot of our minerals. Zinc being one of them, the magnesium, vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 is really important as well, especially if you're not getting outside and getting that natural sunlight, because
Right.
so many times people are like slathering on the sunscreen. We actually need natural sunlight. That is
Hmm.
really key. I use things that are activators that turn on certain things in your body pathways, like increasing your own glutathione was really important.
Oh, that's extremely important. It is the master antioxidant in our bodies. And not that we take the glutathione, but we take some foods, and we can take, NAC is a precursor to glutathione, which is extremely important, and that helps build your immune system. I take zinc, I'm taking the magnesium, I take the vitamin D with the K2. Um, every single day I'm taking it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
do a little pop quiz, Dan. Do you
Oh,
know what
geez.
this is?
I don't know what that is. What is that?
That is a Brazil nut.
Oh my, yes.
And I eat a Brazil nut once a day because it's high in selenium, which is really important as well.
Yes, it is.
So that is key. And then I've got some more props. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully you know what this is.
Oh, come on. Everybody knows what that is. That's a nice kiwi you got going there.
Yes. And
That's great.
kiwi is so high in vitamin C. I think we always think about orange juice and all that, but a kiwi is key. And it actually is really helpful and beneficial. If you have sleeping issues, they say eat a kiwi before bed.
Very good advice. There's a lot of fiber also in kiwi. And what you're drinking now is
Oh,
lemon water, right? Lemon water is extremely important. My wife would see me get up every morning. I have a big glass of water and I put lemons in it. And she said, "Why are you doing that?" And here I am, the nutritionist, and she's asking me the same, she's asking me these questions. And I said, "Listen, I think you should drink lemon water also. We're in the middle of this bad flu season. It'll help boost your immune system." So every morning she will have, go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
do you know what this is?
A dirty water.
Oh, it looks like it's Soleil water.
Yes.
And that's the very first water that I actually really consume in the morning. And Soleil water is just basically infused salt water, Himalayan
Right.
sea salt, and that is really good for your digestive system. So I drink that first before all my other waters. But yeah, water is key.
Water is key. And we were talking like everybody's into the protein right now. It's good to have some of the protein, omega-3 fatty acids, having a wild salmon is extremely important also at this point. Hey, listen, that's the best right there. That's the avocado. All right.
Yep.
I have one almost every single morning. And can you have an avocado for breakfast? Yes, you can.
Yep.
I have avocado just about every single morning. Again, we're talking fiber, okay, and we're talking omega-3 fatty acids, which is fabulous to have during this period of time. I also like flavonoids, right? I like the quercetin because that helps boost the immune system, and that helps fight off all of what's out there these days.
Yes. Well, there's so much, Dan.
So let's talk about the meditation a little bit because, again, let's go back to that stress because meditation is extremely important, brings down the stress levels. You feel better and you can actually make better decisions during the course of the day when you're meditating. You got a little bit of that sacred silence, it's called, going on, right? So you spend a little time by yourself. I do this either in my basement right now or when everybody's out of the house. You spend a few minutes. It helps calm. It helps boost your immune system, right? So what are some of the meditation practices that you do?
So I think some easy ones to do is, because a lot of times people are new at this, is I tell people just find somewhere comfortable to sit, close your eyes, and literally you can do like the 4-count breaths, 4 counts in, 4 counts out. You can actually do a visualization of like literally when you close your eyes, think about that breath going from the tip of your toes to your head and back down again. There's other great apps called like Headspace that are out there.
Yep.
That is really key. But I don't think you have to be doing it 20 minutes at a time. Set your alarm on your phone, because I think so many times people forget. But if we put alarms on our phone and literally take a little mindfulness break during the day, maybe around 2 o'clock, especially when you start to get in that slump that you want to reach for that, you know, that coffee, that soda, literally instead set your thing, just wherever you're at, close your eyes and just breathe and concentrate. And your body, you'll feel your body relax as well during that time.
And for everybody, no matter what you take out of this, out of our, you know, educational webinar today, all right, that 2 to 3 o'clock period of time is what I say to my patients is the bewitching hour. That's when you're looking for the coffee. That's when you're looking for that candy bar. That's when you're looking to have something sugary, such as a cola. And what Naomi has indicated, around that time, if you can take a 5-minute break, I think it's just so important to do so, right? I think that is extremely important.
It is. It is. You know, because they're realizing, so I drink a natural energy drink, Dan, daily, and it's not for that hyped up energy. It's for mental clarity. And it's been such a game changer for myself, my child, my husband. And I know my husband at first was like, what? And now he swears by it because he realizes like I can focus. I have that clarity. And it's all a bunch of different natural, like basically herbs, like pine barks in there, things that, and taste good. So it's literally trying to find things that help with our clarity. Because I think we are an overload. If you think about it, we have cell phones now, we have laptops, we are constantly looking to answer and being on, and we were not wired for that. And so we have to take mindful breaks. And I like using that instead of meditation, because I think a lot of times people have just a mind block around that. So if you can just take a mindful break, that is going to help. And another thing is laughter. Like you and I always have good laughs, Dan.
Yes,
and laughter is key for our immune system. So I tell people, go find a YouTube, watch something that makes you laugh, because that is going to be helpful for you.
And for those of us, those of you who are just beginning to know, beginning to, who we are, when we're off air, it is pretty funny, by the way. I mean, there is, a good belly laugh. These are great recommendations that we can offer up. These are fabulous. And I also want to touch on another point right here. And what we've known and what we've looked at now coming out of the COVID. Listen, if you are overweight, if you're diabetic, if you have some high blood pressure, okay, if you have asthma, please take care of this, because these are situations, autoimmune, diabetes, like I said, cardiovascular, these are situations that can bring down your immune system and make you more susceptible to a virus such as COVID, as well as having you becoming really, really sick. So if you're in that category, we want you, Naomi and I want you to think about this. We want you to sit there and say, let's change your lifestyle. Change your lifestyle. Let's really hone in on your physical health. Let's also hone in on your mental health, on your emotional health, so that you can get through a flu season, okay, on the other side, so that when you're listening to us in 6 months from now, you're going like this and you're like, I got it, right, Naomi? I mean, that
it's truly, Dan, having a lifestyle choice. And I think, as a breast cancer thriver, I tell all the time that it's not genetics usually that's making all of us ill. It is truly, the switches that we turn on in our genes. So I think if anything, if people start to wake up to what type of lifestyle do they want? Do they
Right.
want to age fast or do they want to age slow? And I think that is really a question we need to ask. And aging healthy as well.
Aging healthy. That's exactly the words I was going to say. And one of the last things is watch how you prepare your foods. Okay, when you're talking about leaky gut and you're talking about immunity, right? You know
Yeah.
what? If you have grass-fed beef and you're going to make a hamburger and you want to grill it, don't burn it. You get those advanced glycation end products that they're called, and that's going to be inflammatory no matter what type of beef you have at that time. And make sure if you're cooking and you're using an oil, make sure you're using an olive oil, okay, right? So that there's omega-3s. Stay away from the vegetable oils, the corn oils, high in omega-6 fatty acids, which is inflammatory, can create that leaky gut. Helps bring down that immune response. I'm waiting for you to pull out a bottle of extra virgin olive oil.
I didn't put that in there. I didn't. I was looking. No, I use a lot of coconut oil and avocado oil and some other oils as well. But
Right.
Dan, I'm looking forward to continuing having these weekly conversations with our guests
Yes.
about just different ways to create a healthy lifestyle. Because
Right.
I think that's what you and I are both after, is
Right.
doing that. So, well, thank you, everyone. This has been fabulous, Dan, to always chat with you. And I know
Always
I'm going to
great.
put together, you and I were talking about putting together like a little checklist for people. So we'll be
Right.
working on that so that way people can refer back to that, as you can print it out and say, all right, what do I need to do to have a great immune system?
Right. What did they say? What did they say? And what can I use? And how can I help change our lifestyle? Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Want to thank everybody for listening to us today. In below in the box, if you have any topic that you want us to discuss, please put that in there, and we'll take a look, and we'll discuss it in the future. Naomi, as always, great to see you again.
it's great to see you, Dan. This is fun. And I look forward to next week, same time, same place, everyone.
12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Wellness Wednesdays worldwide. Thank you very much for everybody for listening in. We'll talk to you soon.